Hello everyone. This is a quick redo of this morning session today, May 28th for the Homma private access. And what we did is a couple of things. We first looked at breadth, how general breadth looks like for the market. We then, I then showed you what I do on a weekend as a routine, which is to go through all the indices once on a weekly time frame. Um, and then I went on to show the only scanner which you can run and actually forego all other scanners in case if you are not very interested in scanning. The only scanner which will I'll catch all the good stocks, preferably on a bull market, right? And then at last I discussed the Sakatas Homma monstrosity indicator, which I'm gonna send you very soon. Okay. So first of all, how does the breath looks like? And breath looks great. Uh, remember during the week there was some bearishness, and but midweek started to see some U kind of structures, and in this case, that percentage stocks above 200 day moving average is sloping up. The 50-day also started to sloping up, and the 20 will also start to slope up, right? Similarly, stage analysis, this guy after reaching at about 51 moved sideways and then is now again poised to move to the top. And similarly, stage number of stage 4 names are like sloping down. Advanced decline line also tells you the same story. You see declining stocks sloping down and the advancing stock sloping up. Similarly, in the 69-day time period, also similar story is panning out. Um, RSI overbought is again trying to slope up, which means that when does stocks become overbought when in bull market bullish conditions, right? So this also looks good. High low index looks good, sloping up. New high, new low date also looks good, sloping up. Number of stock above all the key MA also looks to slope up now. Okay, and at the end, the sectorally return in the monthly time frame also looks good, and you see that almost all sectors are sloping up. But the best one is the blue one, which is the IT. Again, strengthening our view, which started last week on Monday when we did this session where I also showed you why I feel that IT as a group, the mid caps are doing well. So, for example, if you see this is just the IT stocks. This is just the IT stock, and in IT as well, mid cap, small cap, large cap. The blue ones are doing well. Again, not to say that the others are not doing good, but the mid cap and the small caps are looking good. But okay, so that was the breadth. And now I'm going to move on and show you the what I do basically on a weekend to look at the key indices. So first of all, let's go to right. Let's start off with the Nifty. So so if you see Nifty, one could say that this now looks like now see Nifty can do anything. So first of all, I want to point out you see last three red candles. They are all the volumes are going down, which means that on a week where there was some selling, volumes are are drying up. What does that mean? Is that people are not selling much now. And now these are a couple of scenarios that can play out. It can obviously take out the previous high, and once a breakout happens, then a retest can happen, and then the indices can move further. In which case, the bull run is on. Another thing could be that okay, it doesn't break out immediately, but then forms a contraction like this, and that scenario is also possible. The third scenario would be we now have a clear bottom because we very nicely have two touches around 16,900, and then it can happen that it comes down, and then maybe can form a rectangular base or a flat base for a prolonged period of time. But the idea is to update uh, your view with each candle. So these are the possible views for now. Similar story also will be seen definitely with Sensex, and like I said, like something like this could be expected. You know, CNX 500 also, uh, you can see contractions right away. This could be the first one. The second one is about to get complete, and probably if you have the third one, it's like textbook VCP. I mean, you can't get more textbook than this, right? So there's a prior uptrend, and then there is nicely slowly digesting the gains, and hopefully, getting started for the next run. Small cap is again something like this can happen, breakout, retest, and go, or something like this could again happen, and it makes this range. Why I drew it like this, because mid cap has already sort of broken out from this zone. This week, last week was a clear bullish breakout, and so could be the small cap index will also follow suit. IPO names are also doing well. So what's happening right now in the IPO names are something called a change of character. Okay, so what's the change in the character? The character clearly was a downtrend, and now the character has changed in the sense that IPO as a whole is saying that, hey, wait a minute, we are probably, if not uptrend, but we will definitely not go on a downtrend, and we might make a sideways movement and then decide to either break out or break down, right? So because it broke out of this descending channel, it sort of signals to you that big money is sort of accumulating, getting inside the IPO names. Bank Nifty is doing good. Again, it's at a terrific resistance. And in Bank Nifty also, PSU Bank and private bank. So from, if you just look at the latest data, because private banks are at their all-time high, you would probably say that, hey, private bank is a leader, and PSUs are lagging. But I beg to differ, because you see the kind of run PSU had is 100%, whereas the private banks only had like 37%. In case of PSU, is a decadal breakout. So it is a monthly chart. You can see there's a huge this downtrending line got taken out here, and then it was just what happens after breakout? Retest. Retest happens after breakout. So this was a clean retest, and this was a very nice area where you could make your initial position. If in case this breakout actually turns out to be a monster run, this was a very nice point to enter, right? So um, hi, hello. हाँ तू बता दे मेरा कैन यू 505 50 हाँ हाँ okay. So sorry about that. um, and then what's happening with the IT? So CNX IT is forming a base. Again, it's very difficult to buy when it is at support, because you don't know if it's going to fall down or so. But once you start making your moves when at the point of reversal, not here, but at least on this bullish candle, there was always a chance that IT is going to reverse. So this is one way to take positions. Of course, one way is to buy the breakout when this breakout happens, but also the reversal, because you can see that clearly this reversal will also give you a nice 15 to 18% move. Pharma is looking okay. Power is in a downtrend, so it'll be interesting to see if power breaks out of this and announces a change of character, or it further tumbles down and do something like this, which is resume the downtrend. PSE has just given a couple of weeks ago a decadal breakout again. I'll show you in a monthly time frame why I say since 2007, 2008, this base has been forming and a breakout has occurred. So if you see this small area, so this could be taken as a flag, right, in a monthly. So this is the pole, this is the mass, and the breakout happened here. TA says that it has a long runway. I mean, obviously, it is not going to reach the here in 1 month or half a year, but like it's if this breakout sustains, and the sustenance could take time in the sense just like how the CNX as a PSU bank came and retested. Could be some amount of retest, but looks very promising. Reality is also looking good. Reality is in a big 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 sort of see what's and there's a big base, right? So this is a decadal. I mean, if you look at a higher time frame, um, if reality takes out the 607 levels, it's gonna go places, right? So reality is actually looking also good. Um, if I take out all of this, and then you can see clearly reality is forming a stage 1 base here. It's and if this breaks out, then it looks like a double bottom, right? um, so this is the second bottom. Could form one more contraction before moving out. Industrials have been an clear outperformer when everything was going down. Industrials and some other capital goods and industrials. These were some of the names which are in a clear uptrend. And the chemicals look to make a reversal because it looks like an inverse head and shoulder pattern, and any breakout from this level would be a good level to good breakout to enter. um, Chini is looking so. I this still doesn't look really good to me. Finance, CNX Finance, after this is a cup and handle, right? So this is a cup. The cup contains a double bottom. The double bottom breakout was so. It actually did not break out. It formed another contraction. This contraction could now be seen as the handle of the cup, and then once if it makes one more, the setup looks really nice after that. Then so we also discussed the metal sector. So metal, you see, after the uptrend, what is this contraction one, base of the second contraction, right? Third contraction. Now if some of you follow metals really closely and you really think that a move something like this might come here, why not position yourself here, partially. Hmm? So yeah, so that would be like an anticipation kind of setup. CNX Infra, I love this. This is a big flag breakout, right? So now after this breakout, it looks like that it is going to follow this path, just like how you see the CG just like this, or even the industrials. Now it might look like that infra is going to take a path like that. It is very much possible, right? API names are breaking out. So this is the API index, and you could see the classic double bottom, the double bottom which only likes because the second bottom is undercutting the first bottom. You see how you see the amount of um, green volumes coming here. I expect a nice pullback, or maybe this was the pullback. Who knows? And it will now zoom past. So looking good. The API names. Then I discussed gold, right? So what's gold doing? Gold has just made a third top, So this could now turn out to be a triple top and do something like this, or it can just be a rectangle base, and on the fourth try, because now the third try, this was the first try, second try, on the third try it could well break out, right? So uh, your view of the stock or whatever you're watching should update with each candle, right? Dollar Fang is doing great. Nasdaq. So Nasdaq you see is in a huge long-term uptrend because in the long term it is in the long term it's in this channel since 2009, and you see that this bottom coincided with the bottom of the channel. So this is basically ACR, ascending channel reversal. There's a reversal when it hits uh, the the support of the ascending channel, and you can very clearly see it has all the looks of of a new bull run brewing. If you look at this was bottom one, the second bottom, and the double bottom breakout actually happened now. So it could be that it'll lose some steam and then come back and hit this line. In this case, the setup would be even better because you see that then the one touch, two touch, three touch, then there's a very nice trend line, and we would expect the price to follow this trend line afterwards. Uh, and then if you see what is leading the rally in Nasdaq, you will clearly know that it's the semiconductors. SOX is a semiconductor. This one. So again, in each bull rally, there will be one or two groups which will lead. For us, last time it was IT, it was chemicals. Looks like now it is the semiconductor. So when you see Nasdaq is nowhere near its all-time high, semiconductor index is nowhere near its high. What is Nvidia doing? NVIDIA. So if you see that Nvidia has already crossed its all-time high, right? So these are leaders. These are basically, how do you find leaders? There is only one characteristics to define leaders, and that is relative strength. Breaking out before everything else is breaking out, before the index. So Nvidia is a clear winner. So if someone wants to trade the market, US market, a move like a 200% move from the breakout point, which would still be somewhere around 180% or so, could be there. Again, I'm not saying go and buy Nvidia, but I'm just saying that hey, this sort of a rally is possible. Look at the volume, and you know what is this? This is a bullish on bullish breakout. Go and read the newsletter I got out that got out on Saturday. This is exactly what I wrote about with a lot of example. Had I gone through the chart, I would have added this example as well. So in short, we went through. This is what I go do every week religiously. Religiously, when I say religiously, means like religiously, right? And what it does to you is that gives you an idea of what's happening in the market. And I have some other names as well. These are the names I track: Tesla, some European indices, China, Hong Kong, Adani Group. Adani Group also had a breakout. Now I don't know if it's gonna hit somewhere here, but but just trend lines and technical analysis, right? Whenever price hits this line, could be zoom past here or could be like a slow ascent here, and that would be a point to say okay, maybe Adani is gonna fall now, or probably when the Hancock give up hits, that would be a possible resistance, right? So so um, so that was the video on. I mean, that was what we did on indices. And another thing which I do if I don't run any scanner is basically to run the scanner called 52-week high close. Okay, so basically here anything which on a weekly has had the highest 52-week closing will come here. Okay, and this is also an indirect way to see how the market is doing. it's bullish or bearish. So how many names we've got? We've got 188 names. Has the names been increasing since the March 18 lows? Yes. Every week we have got an increase in this number. What does this tell you? This tells you that don't listen to anyone else. Just listen to the data. It told it told us from this week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks prior that it has been telling us that bullishness has been increasing and increasing. Okay, so so basically you put this and go through each name, and the idea is to find a name which probably is setting up well. Mm. So for example, Vardhaman Poly had a nice breakout of this flag, right? Um, and it could be wise to go through this either in weekly or in daily. Um, this could now hit resistance here, you know. Rayfex, what is this? This is bullish and bullish breakout. 1, 2, 3, 4 on fourth touch it got it broke out and then it retested. Denora is at a ACR reversal point. It could, I mean, it could break out, but mostly if you got in here, there's a place where at least sell some um, right. Birla cable was a nice ACR. One touch, two touch, three touch, four touch, five touch, and I think this also came in the triple B scanner just before breakout. SRDM is also at an ACR, one touch, two touch, three touch, four touch, and now it's probably going to go the distance, you know. So you will find names which are just picking up pace. When you see this volumes coming in, you know that this is not. I mean, after such a volume dry up, it's going to go up now. Tega Industries, amazing name, amazing name. At the it tried to break out, and I thought it was a BOB, bullish on bullish breakout, but could break out. Kalparso, Narso, really good name. Um, and I think this is related to mining and stuff, and those names are picking up pace. But I remember we as a group, TRC, we covered it at this level, 600 levels, sometime last year, and it's very nice to see that it's doing well. Yeah, so basically, this is the scanner which you run to not miss, to see, and from here also, from just looking at the name, you will know that which is the sector which is doing well, right? So I'm pretty sure you will find you'll find a lot of probably auto names and mid cap, small cap IT names, and also some industrial names, and you know that these are the places, and electric names, right? Schneider Electric or this electric, that electric, software name. So you sort of also get the idea of which are the hotter sectors in the market right now. Right. Last one is Sakatas Homma monstrosity scanner. Now this is, as you know that I use free version of TradingView, and there you can only put three indicators, and one is monstrosity, one is CCI, and one is the mass indicator. Now the monstrosity, although it's one indicator, it has everything which I have been using for. The first one is the moving average for all time frame by John Muchow, and in here you can select different moving averages for different time periods. So for example, this is an intraday, this is a daily, this is weekly, um, and then the next indicator is the super trend indicator, super trend 10-20, 10-2 and 10-3. So this below one is 10-3, this one upper one is 10-2. The second thing it quotes is it quotes for it quotes for the purple dot indicator by Manas Arora. So uh, what I've done is, so you can so Manas checks any 5% moves for more than I think 10 lakh volumes, so you can adjust accordingly. And if both the conditions are met, you have a purple dot below this one. if you don't want to, because see, I don't care about this much volume, because I move minuscule amount of money, right? Because my account is very small right now. So what I generally do is I say don't combine, and and this one, it just shows me the 5% moves. Okay. um, right, and the last one, it codes for something called volume profile. So now volume profile is basically, it has a time period. So in this case, my time period is last 200 days, because let's say 200-day moving average, and that's a very good time frame to know what happens in the volume. So at the price at which, so this is the price, right? So the price is 237 to 60. So within this price zone, where is the greatest amount of volume transaction happen, and that happened in around 124, 125 level. So what I've noticed is, so I'm still learning how to use this indicator. I'll probably definitely tell you a lot more how to use this. But you can see that, like, one example, HBL power, you can see that it very nicely, acts as resistance and support. So for example, this yellow line is a line where the most amount of volume transaction happened in the recent 200 days, and you see that after stock came down from 117, it nicely um, found support at this point, right? So similarly, let's say this guy was somewhere here, and you would know that uh, the the price will probably run into a huge amount of resistance at that level. So uh, so so again, like I said, I'll not go on explaining what this is, how I use, because I am still learning how to use this. But it looks like a great tool. I also shared a book on volume profile on the group, so you guys can read about it. um, so how do I use the super trend indicator? I use it basically to, so super trend is a trend following indicator. So if price is below that, it's basically not a good idea to enter. So you can see that if it's a trending stock, let's say the example of Newland. So Newland Labs, you see, on in here, let's say from here, you see this volume profile, highest volume, and once it broke out of that, you can see that once a stock is in a trend, it generally pulls back to super trend to 10-2 or 10-3. 10-2 क्रॉस कर दिया somehow, तो 10-3 में तो मिलेगा मिलेगा उसको support, something like that, right? So in here also it took 10 at support at 10-2. The moment it took support at 10-2, it again never came back, and now look what's happening. It's near to 10-2, right? So if you are already in here, you can probably let your stop loss below here, because you know that the super trend acts as a great support and resistance. So please feel free to use these indicators to supplement the trading decisions. See, at the, at the beginning, price action is the bar. I mean, you never take any action not looking at the price action. So, but once you dial in the name, then you can use these moving averages and all the other indicators I showed you to supplement your analysis. All right, so that was the video, guys. We'll chat with you all later, more during the week, and have fun. Bye.